I'm Todd Bookspan, and welcome to your neighborhood real estate show. The hyperlocal real estate show where real estate professionals talk about the neighborhood you live in or the neighborhood you want to live in. This episode is brought to you by homebuyeruniversity.net, your free comprehensive guide to buying or refinancing your home. Click over to homebuyeruniversity.net to get started online today. Hey everyone, I'm Todd Bookspan and welcome to your real estate show. I am super excited today to have Gary Smith and Brandon Morgan, thank you, here with We Do Real Estate Deals. Welcome guys, how's it going?
Good. Yeah. I'm glad you didn't figure that name out because I should be the star of the show anyway. So.
Well, you know, you start. Well, so Gary, you give us the background on how the team started and what you guys are doing.
Let's tell them the real name of the team first. He said We Deal Real Estate Deals.
Yeah.
We Deal Real Estate.
All right, We Deal Real Estate. Get that other deal out of there.
There you go.
All right. See, that's what this show's about. We're super formal. You know,
Right.
It's perfect,
awesome.
right? We got this. We make no mistakes on this show.
You know what? I've been in business, be going on 18 years in July, and started in 2002, and about 2004 I came up with We Deal Real Estate. And my old business partner wanted to do the Realty Bunch, kind of after the Brady Bunch. I'm like, that is so gay. I don't want to do it. So We Deal Real Estate, I thought of that, and I thought, you know what, that'd be great. I could do We Deal Real Estate Mesa, We Deal Real Estate Phoenix, We Deal Real Estate Los Angeles,
Right.
Whatever. It could go anywhere. So that was the vision there.
Or We
and
Deal Real Estate Italy, or We Deal Real Estate.
How's that working for you?
You know,
It's
every day is one step closer.
All right.
Yeah.
I hear the Pope's looking to list the Vatican. I'll put in a good word for you guys.
Is that the two popes? So, anyway, so that was the vision there, and then been cranking ever since. And then a few years ago, sent my daughter off to real estate school, probably about 7 years ago, and she had met Brandon here.
We sat next to each other.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And then what happened?
And then I had to, propose and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So.
But he wanted to come work for me, and I said, I don't think that's going to work.
Well, that's not necessarily true. So I'm extremely aggressive and transactional based, and Gary's always been relational based. And I came from a strong phone background, so our business ideas weren't matching at the time.
Yeah. Well, and I looked at it wrong. I was short-sighted on the fact that I let talent go.
But he was just scared that he didn't know how to train someone like me. So he's like, you go figure out what you're doing first. And it was 3 years in 2015. So I started in 2012. So in 2015, I actually came to Gary and I said, I think it's time. Let's put this together.
I'm ready.
I actually told him, you are fine. You will run me over like a train.
You guys have a good yin and yang going.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So it is. It's a good balance. And that's what he came to me. He said, man, if I can take your database and we can tweak it and do what you're doing and then do what I do on the phones and expand it, blow this up. And I'm like, let's do it. So I gave him control of the reins on that side, and I still do what I do.
And what does the rest of the team look like today?
So my daughter, who was with us for a while, we've retired her off since she's now the mother of 4 children.
That'll keep you busy.
Yeah. And my oldest son, Gary Jr., he's been with us for 3 years, and he's a buyer specialist, doing well. Me and Brandon, Brandon's our listing specialist. I am hard-headed, and I do both, and think that sitting behind a windshield's still okay. I kick myself in the butt sometimes about that, but and then I have Digger Clark, a guy I've known for about 22 years and coached with for the last 10 years. Getting his feet wet in real estate, and then a young man, Tyler Reinhardt, who used to play for me in high school 5 years ago, and doing the same.
So I love that. So obviously you're a coach, right?
Yeah.
So give a little history on you as a coach and the success you've had.
Before real estate, I actually I wholesaled cars, and I ended up last few years of it managing a car lot, and that was something that will run you in the ground. The car guys out there know they're going to, work bell to bell 6 days a week, if not 7, depending on the owner. The owner that I work with, didn't allow work on Sundays, which was a blessing to me and my family. But I realized my kids were growing up without me. And I said, you know what, I've got to make a change here. And obviously everybody that goes into real estate thinks it's awesome. You get to sit on the beach and work on contracts and, do everything right. So started that and started to get into coaching my daughters in softball, coaching my son in baseball, and of course football. I played college football, so that was where the passion lied. And heck, I've been doing that since 2003. And that's led me to coaching youth football and 3 state titles, 1 national runner-up, and now we finally hit the national championship this year.
Congrats.
Brought home that trophy, and 10 years in high school football, and 2 state runner-ups, and looking for that state championship still in high school.
Well, and I just love your attitude on it. You take a real leadership focus. Mm-hmm. And what is it? You said something I thought that really stuck with me about why you care about them and why you're trying to make them leaders.
Well, and that's and thanks, that made me tingle. But no, it's something we talk about. I mean, I know I'm going to live and retire in the Phoenix metro area, and most likely in Gilbert Mesa, the rest of my life.
You should take away retire. But.
Well, and I know once I leave business or leave the role that there needs to be leaders out there. And I've listened to the CEO of Keller Williams, Gary Keller, say there's not enough leaders in the world, and it's up to us to create those leaders. And you hear the thing, a leader is born. A leader is not born. A leader is made. And there are true leaders out there, but there's also people that are leading people in the wrong direction.
Absolutely.
And so I look at the morals and values I have. I can transfer those moral and values on the football field, and it's the perfect place to do it because you're asking people to work together for one common goal.
I love it.
And so I know that hopefully things go right. I always tell them, you got to stay on the straight and narrow.
Yep. Make good choices.
Make good choices, and we should live in a very good society, especially here.
Awesome. Love
it. And he brings it, I mean, because I go to a lot of games and even practices and all that. And I think why the business has done so well because of his coaching is the way that he treats those kids. And he'll, at the end of every practice, you're going to go do this, go do this many good things for your mom, treat your parents with respect. And we think, we feel a little bit like that's normal. Like, oh yeah, all coaches do that. They don't. I mean, just Gary's experience just recently in Orlando proved that just because a kid is in a team does not mean that they're being led in the right direction. And he saw that. I mean, we don't have to get into that, but just parents and coaches on the other side showing very bad examples and not teaching these kids the right and wrong way. Yeah. And Gary, that's something that I think makes him such a great father, coach, and person, is that he really pushes that into anybody that he meets, and then transcending that into business. We also always hear, I'm a consultant, not a salesperson. I'm the salesperson. Gary truly is the consultant. He will have a conversation with someone and make them feel not only important, but he teaches them. He doesn't tell them.
Yeah, so. Well, I mean, education is such a great thing. It's easy to talk someone into something that they don't need or want, but if you can educate someone on the choices and help them make the best choice for them, then you're setting them up for a lifetime.
If you can find out what someone's goals are, everybody wants to buy a home. Everybody, or let's just, maybe not everybody, but
almost everyone.
Almost everybody
if
wants
you don't,
to be a homeowner.
You're making a mistake.
Yeah, and almost everybody wants to be a homeowner, and all you have to do is guide them there. And you do that not by pushing them in a direction, but actually finding out what their goals are and then leading them in the direction that is best for them.
Right. Well, I think that's difficult. So when you've got a buyer that comes in, I mean, how do you start them down that path?
Well, first thing is obviously we like to meet with them, and I have our buyer questionnaire. It's text format. I just text it out to them. It's 5-6 pages, and it just asks them, what are you looking for in a house, and why is that important to you? How far do you want to live away from here, and why is that important to you? How big does the kitchen need to be? What style? How big's your kitchen table? So all these things they may not even be thinking of.
I was going to say, I got to imagine most people haven't thought in that much of a detail. They say, I want a house, but they haven't thought about those pieces and aspects.
Yeah, and so when it goes down to it, the last 5 questions are awesome. It's give me 5 things that would be perfect for your dream home. And the next question after that is, how about 5 more? And the last one is, what would make this your dream home? And that's where sometimes I find things like a hidden pot of gold in the walls, or the best one, and it's always a story I tell, is a 26 window VW bus.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
How'd you do on that one?
So that one there, I looked it up. It was about $125,000 for one that wasn't completed. I saw some at Barrett Jackson last year. But a closing gift for him was a $45 die cast 26 window bus.
Well, so he did get everything you wanted.
That's right.
And let's talk about that a little bit. And I think the reason that we've been doing it that way, especially in this market, is because for the longest time, people thought they had to go out and look at 20 or 30 homes before they made a decision. And we've known, and the systems that we've created is, if we look at 5 and you're not buying one of those 5, you didn't complete that questionnaire, or you weren't truthful in it, or
we didn't hear you right,
or something's changed, right? So that, and we don't want you know, we use the best technology. We have Keller Williams technology. We use everybody else, but the biggest thing is, we don't want you to be that person who's feeling like you're the one going out and finding the house. Right. You've hired us.
I hear that a lot, so it's good to hear that that's the approach you're taking. And I do agree. Oftentimes people think they should look at 25 houses, but I agree with you. If as an agent you ask the right questions, you can show them houses that meet their criteria, and then in theory, one of those should be the one. When in all of Gilbert or Mesa, you have like 300 homes to choose from, you need to find that one. Yeah.
Well, and the reality is if we get it all out of them, and so we send that questionnaire out, then we bring them into the room and we verify it and basically read back through it, because obviously things get lost in translation when you write stuff down and not verbally ask questions and see the responses on their face and see what does that mean to you. We find out, because what is noisy to you might not be what's noisy to me, right?
Right.
So do you mind backing up to a noisy street, or what kind of views do you want? But anyways, the deeper we dig, the easier it is to find. And buyers are visual. They love the internet because you get to see all these pictures.
Yeah.
And there's always a reason why. Why is there no pictures of the backyard or the outside or what's going on? And all I have to do is hit the overhead map and say, well, this is why.
Yep.
And so did you want to waste the half hour to go see this house, or does backing up to Power Road, is that what you want to do?
Right.
So that's part of it. The other thing is, when you get out there and start looking at stuff, you may see some stuff that it wasn't what you thought it was going to be. And I always tell them, look, it's always okay to change your mind and go a different direction. But if we don't know, we don't know. So you just got to let us know.
Well, it's one of those things. A lot of people are, I want a great room style, for example. Yeah. And then they get upset when they don't have a formal dining room space.
Right.
And you usually don't get, you might not get both, or, I wanted a great room feeling, but I still want a living room. Okay, that's not a great, right? So we self-discover that during that process. But then it's just like I said, if we go out and look at these 5 homes and we didn't find, if you're not, and you're not wanting to make an offer that day, it's time to go back to the office, not go look at more homes.
Yeah. Well, and you said 300 homes available, so the inventory is really tight right now.
Extremely tight.
And so how are you prepping people for that?
Well, so using the tools that are out there, one of the things I do is I show them what they're looking at. If I sat you in the room and and the nice thing about sending out digitally, I create the search before they even come into the room and meet. Now we're in a nice conference room like this, big screen on the wall. I pull up the map, and basically it says, okay, I'm looking for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home with a 2-car garage in Gilbert under $350,000. Okay. If I pull that up, let's say there's 130 of them. Now they want a pool. All right. Now we're 5. Down to, there might be 25, right? Let's say that 2-car garage is small enough and they want a 5-car garage. Now we're down to 2. I show them that, but also what I do is I dig into our tools, the Crumford report, and I'll go in there, and the same thing I use when I go on my listing presentations, which shows the absorption rate, price per square foot, and what's going on out there. I show it to buyers, and I'll say, look, in this zip code of 85298, your budget is $350,000, and you're looking for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home. What I'm going to do is I'm going to plug the price point of $350 to $400 in 85298 and plug that number in, and I'm going to show you that Right now, 14 properties have sold, or I'm sorry, 14 properties are active, and last month 27 properties sold, and the asking list price is $158 a square foot, and the selling list price is $157 a square foot. So if there's 14 properties to look at, and it's 27 of them sell in a month, when do you think we need to make a decision?
Yesterday.
He says it like that. I say the market is extremely tight right now. If you're going to buy a home, you have to buy it today.
Well, the challenge always is that oftentimes they don't understand that until they lost their dream
Right.
home because
Absolutely.
they wanted to go see 2 more houses.
Right. They want to think about it.
Yeah.
And the person that's buying it today is the person that thought about it yesterday.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right.
And there are some buyers out there. I'm talking with my son Gary Jr. about it, and he's like, man, I've showed him all these houses, and they want to write an offer, but they're gone, or they want to write an offer $5,000 less than the asking price. And I said, sometimes people have to lose a couple before they're willing to understand what's going on.
Which is always hard because oftentimes the one they lose is the one that they really, of all the ones they saw, that they loved. And so, because you're seeing that. The case you all didn't catch it when you said the dollar per square foot was higher for sale than for list. People are paying over asking price.
Yep.
Right. Another thing that it was about 20-25% of our business last year was new builds. So new construction is a really big thing, and Gary and I make it a point to create relationships and know exactly what's going on with the builders, because right now, or at least last year, and I'm hoping it loosens up a little bit this year, but last year, if we had a specific buyer looking for specific things, we weren't taking them to resale at all. It was okay. We're going to go to Cadence, next to Eastmark, and that's the home that is going to fit for you. It's not, let's go look at everything else because there's nothing else.
Right. You were given the easy button.
Right, easy button and getting them exactly what they want. Let's not go and look for a needle in a haystack. Let's go and we know exactly where it is, and we're going to build it, and we're going to figure out a way for you to, whether renting a home or we have other systems in place where we're allowing them to stay in their home for 6 months and then move into the new build while selling it in between time. So that's been super, super beneficial.
So say that again. So you're making it so when someone has a new build and they're worried because they got to sell the old one in order to buy the new one, and they just don't want to have it be last minute and not work out. You guys are creating systems to help them be able to sell it so they don't have to worry about it, stay in the house, move out when the house is ready.
Right. So we have multiple options where we're either keeping it on, selling it, and then having that buyer allow them to stay, or we created a company called WeDealOffers.com where we're actually able to find a cash buyer, actually multiple cash buyers, as many as 15 offers, give them that, and all of those will allow them to stay in the home while they're building a new build.
That's awesome.
So it's been pretty cool.
It's all about options.
Right.
Yep.
And convenience and options and making it as hassle-free as possible.
Yeah, I think that's really what people want, right? I mean, the whole beauty of the way the market's evolved is now there are more options than ever for someone.
Yeah.
Right.
So when it comes to areas, you guys are big fans of Freeman Farms. So tell people, where's Freeman Farms? What is it you guys like about Freeman Farms? And what else do we need to know?
Well, so 3 years ago, Gary decided that he was going to buy in a small unincorporated area of Gilbert. And my wife and I, because we have grandchildren, wanted to be at least, never more than 100 yards away from Gary. We found this neighborhood called Freeman Farms. So that's when we first, we bought a home in Freeman Farms. We bought it sight unseen. We just wanted to be in that neighborhood because it's a really, really nice neighborhood. Very, the price range goes anywhere from about $350,000 to about $700,000 to $800,000. And then over $1 million in the neighborhood right next to it.
Yeah, the Freeman Farms legacy is over $1 million.
It's a diverse neighborhood, but very, very, it's quiet, it's friendly. It's, there's lakes and paths, and it's right next to the canal, right next to the new Gilbert Regional Park. So I bought a home in there, and then we ended up growing our family, so I bought another home in there. And it's just been in this neighborhood that we decided that we really like the people in it. So we said
that always helps.
We want to focus on. So this is our strategy, and it's not necessarily for any end goal. We just want to be coming from contribution inside that neighborhood. So we've never put out flyers for selling people's houses. We've never, we door knock for things that we do in the neighborhood. So last year. We started off last year by doing a water safety event. We brought over 200 people into the park with their children to learn about how to be safe around water.
Brought the fire department in.
Fire department, SRP donated some stuff. we gave away a lot of gifts and prizes, and we had infant survival training, we had CPR training, that kind of stuff. And then so that was our first event. And then in October, we decided that we were going to put on a pumpkin patch. So we were able to give just under 400 pumpkins away to kids in the neighborhood, and we lit it up with strands of lights. And
was it in your front yard or on?
No, in the park. In the park, in the basketball court. Yeah, so they all came out
there.
And
nice.
They had free face painting and cookies and pumpkins and. So again, we want next year instead of the water safety, we're going to be doing a water safety plus an Easter egg hunt in April, and then the pumpkin patch again. But we just said we're not going to be that typical agent that goes in there and I'm not going to send out, hey, what's your home worth every day. I don't want you to move out of Freeman Farms. I like you, but if you did need to, go with someone who really wants to contribute to the neighborhood
and knows the neighborhood. Yeah.
Right. So it's been amazing, and it's also made us an expert with Gilbert Regional Park. I own the Gilbert Regional Park Facebook page, and I think we have 2,000 or 3,000 people on that Facebook page.
So what's the Gilbert Regional Park for people
Gilbert
scratching
Regional
their head?
Park is 183, 212 now.
272 acres.
So it's It's the largest regional park in Arizona.
Well, city park, because if you look at South Mountain Park, that might be a bigger park.
Oh, we're talking about an actual park. We're talking about
with swing sets
they
and
have swing
mountains.
set. So they create. So far it's going in phases. So they've created the first phase, and it's this thing called the Mountain, and it's a very, very awesome playground. And
So to explain it this year, it's a 10-year project with a committed budget of $100 million.
Just a few bucks.
Yeah, just a few bucks, and then we've got some city and public partnerships going on. One is with a company called The Strand, and the Strand's going to come in and spend $200 million with a 20-year lease on their water park. And
water park is going to be surfing, bodyboarding.
Yeah.
So if you ever like kayaking and like
that one won't have the kayaking. So think of it this way: if you ever look Red Bull's Extreme Water Sports, and you'll see the surfing competitions and also skiing competitions, stuff like that. So we're bringing back the lake with the cable on it.
Oh, awesome!
And then they'll also have a lake that has these blow-up inflatable obstacle courses.
Right.
So it'll be a blast.
Yeah, and then
Super
they'll
fun.
bring the Tahiti huts over the lagoon there with full bar service, and so cabanas on the water, overlooking the water with bottle service and all that.
So I can see why you want to live nearby.
They zoned out a portion of the front north, or I'm sorry, what is it? I can't remember the direction of the.
That'll be
but
25
on the corner,
acres there.
They have they were doing a bidding system for a hotel. And the only bid on it was the Strand Resort to build actually a really nice hotel right there. So it's going to be a destination point.
Yeah, that's going to be more venue setting for weddings, destination stuff. Yeah. And so there's some big stuff happening there. The rest of the phases, when you get down, right now they're putting in the 8-acre lake and the amphitheater. So from my front yard, that's about 350 feet away.
Wow.
And it's separated by the washway and the canal. And then, did I say 350 feet? 350 yards probably.
Yeah.
Good thing it's not that
you'll
close.
still hear the concerts.
Yeah, so we'll get the concerts. And then they've got sand volleyball and pickleball courts coming in. And then phase 2 will be softball fields, soccer fields. And you go down on there, there'll be a skate park in there. There'll be a mountain biking park. There'll be disc golf. And as that land kind of looks almost like a wedge, and the closer you get down, it starts at Queen Creek Road, goes past Ocotillo and almost ends down by Chandler Heights. So it's almost 2 miles long.
Wow.
Right.
And
it's a big park
and
a
a
lot
half
of
mile
cool
wide.
things. Yeah. And I mean, the neighborhood, I can't remember the actual number, but when they did their grand opening, there was 10,000 to 5,000,
Oh, yeah.
10,000 more.
There are
People
people
that showed up.
there every single day playing till 10 o'clock at night. The park rangers have to go, and they've been very gracious to wait sometimes till 10:30, 11.
To shut the lights off. Yeah.
No, they don't shut the lights off, but they go and kind of make sure all the bathrooms are locked and all that. We've been out there a few times.
And it's just cool to bring something exciting out to this side of Gilbert.
Yeah, why not live nearby, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Freeman Farms is right there. We have Bridges right across the street. So it's a very nice community
A lot of
all
new builds
around it.
going on out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like there's just so much happening. So that if someone's looking for resale or new, it's all there.
And one of the things that I'd learned before I started looking down there, if we look at Paradise Valley, Scottsdale, Fountain Hills, they're all known for the wealthiest zip codes in Arizona, especially Paradise Valley and North Scottsdale, wealthiest zip codes in Arizona. What I learned was Gilbert's 85298 is the wealthiest zip code for primary residence.
Interesting.
And what I decided is I'm a resident that's going to retire here. I want to live in that area.
Mostly just because a lot of these other places are all second homes and all that kind of stuff. Right?
My watch is telling me to breathe. Is my favorite.
It's good that you have to watch that tells you that, because if not, your body might not know what to do.
Exactly.
This episode is brought to you by homebuyeruniversity.net, your free comprehensive guide to buying or refinancing your home. Click over to homebuyeruniversity.net to get started online today.